Hey everybody, this is Mason Coffee. Today I am going to be reacting to a video, specifically from the YouTube channel Wikizilla, on their kaiju profile of the history of the Heisei Godzilla. Now, I just want to point out, I love Godzilla, and I'd really like to know the backstory and history of the Heisei one, because it's been a while since I've seen them. I only seen bits and clips of them because I don't own the DVDs, which I'm planning on ordering. But enough about that. Anyway, link in the description. Be sure to check out the original video in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Those stupid ads. Oh, thank God for the skip button.
This video is solely the history section for the Heisei Godzilla kaiju profile. The roles he plays in the movies he's in are so long and entrenched with their plots that this section needed to be its own video. So, for the King of the Monsters' abilities or interesting trivia, check out the actual kaiju profile.
Alright, let's check this out.
The Return of Godzilla. A second Godzilla appeared 30 years after the original's death following a volcanic eruption at Daikoku Island, first attacking a fish canning vessel. The lone survivor, Hiroshi Okumura, was rescued and later identified the monster as Godzilla. In fact, the Japanese government kept a secret to prevent panic.
Oh, that's just government in real life.
A submarine in the waters off Japan and attacked it, causing the Soviets to believe the Americans were responsible.
Of course they blame us.
To prevent nuclear war, Japan revealed that Godzilla had returned. Both the Americans and Soviets demanded that they be allowed to use their nukes against Godzilla, but Japan refused. Still, the Soviets secretly placed the controls for a nuclear attack satellite in the
realistic.
ship in Tokyo Bay just in case. One night, Godzilla attacked the Mihama nuclear power plant, and while feeding on the radiation of the reactor, suddenly left, following a flock of birds out to sea, suggesting that Godzilla shared birds' use of magnetic patterns in the atmosphere to navigate, leading to scientist Makoto Hayashida beginning work on a magnetic wave transmitter. However, before the plan to imprison Godzilla in Mount Mihara on Izu Oshima could be completed, the monster appeared in Tokyo Bay.
Surprise, sucker!
Shinjuku, Godzilla encountered the Super X, which used flares to distract him, and then fired cadmium.
I know I should be talking, but right now I'm pretty invested.
Collapsed once the cadmium slowed down the nuclear reaction.
Oh, get up, Godzilla!
Stopping his heart. While the JSDF believed the Monster King was dead, Dr. Hayashida did not. Okamura arrived in a helicopter and airlifted Hayashida and his device to Oshima Island. Meanwhile, the Soviet's nuclear satellite was accidentally triggered when Godzilla destroyed the Balashevo, and a nuclear missile was headed straight for the heart of Tokyo.
I never liked human characters.
The Japanese about the missile, giving the Americans enough time to shoot it down in the skies far above Tokyo. However, the radiation
cares about human characters?
Godzilla, reviving him.
Heck yeah, baby.
Super X, and
let's show them what you got.
Hayashida activated his device, causing Godzilla to head toward the transmitter. Coming ashore on the island, he climbed to the summit of Mount Mihara, where explosive charges from the volcano were detonated, triggering a controlled
Godzilla's the type of character I want to root for regardless if he's good or evil.
Godzilla versus Biollante. Over 5 years after being president inside Mount Mihara, Godzilla began to stir within the volcano's crater.
Always weed your garden.
Unit was placed on high alert, while the government, with the help of geneticist Genshiro Shiragami, began work on the anti-nuclear energy bacteria, or ANIB, bacteria engineered from G cells designed to kill Godzilla by consuming the radiation inside him. Shiragami had accepted the sole purpose of acquiring G cells, which he spliced into a rose containing his dead daughter's cells to make it immortal. When a terrorist group learned of the ANIB, however, they placed explosives on Mount Mihara and demanded the ANIB be handed over or else Godzilla would be released. The government complied, but the exchange was sabotaged by a Saradian agent who stole the ANIB. The charge exploded, and Godzilla was released once again.
Surprise!
As Godzilla swam toward mainland Japan, the JSDF sent the Super X-2 to engage the Big G. What was...
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Wow. Human characters, at first you think you're supposed to care and worry about them, but then suddenly you realize just how unlikable most human characters in monster movies are. At first, you want them to, like, I don't know, be okay, but then like I just said, you suddenly come to a realization they're just so unlikable. Anyway, enough of that. Let's continue.
Quickly forced to retreat due to damage from his atomic breath.
I love
Godzilla
those
made his way to
lasers.
Lake Ashi, where Biollante had taken root, and stared at the creature, which attacked him out of panic. Godzilla
He's weed
retaliated
killer.
and set Biollante aflame, who proceeded to break apart into energy spores and float away, allowing Godzilla to return to the ocean. Later, low on nuclear energy, he searched for a power plant to feed off. Meanwhile, the adit was successfully recovered from the Soradia oil office in Osaka, and rockets loaded with adit were quickly assembled. The Super X-2 engaged Godzilla.
Wow, they're desperate.
And the Monster King made his way to the city center, where he was injected with anode rockets.
No.
The next day, Godzilla showed no signs of being affected. The JSDF responded by raising his body temperature with laser beams when he arrived at Wakasa Bay, weakening him. Right then, Biollante's spores rained onto the ground, and soon the plant beast Biollante emerged, destroying all the JSDF's units and attacking Godzilla. Both monsters were severely wounded, but Biollante's corrosive sap spray raised Godzilla's body temperature even further. As Biollante spores ascended into the sky, Godzilla collapsed on his way back to the sea. As the tides washed over him, his temperature lowered, and he regained enough strength to go back out to the sea.
Yay, I'm glad Godzilla survived.
King Ghidorah.
Yeah, I like the way he says his names.
Godzilla over the course of 2 years following his encounter with Biollante, but it appeared he was too weak to ever leave the water. One day, a group of time travelers from the 23rd century arrived in their spaceship Mother, claiming that Godzilla would return soon and destroy Japan, and that this
like you can trust people in a spaceship.
Setting up a book written in the future by Kenichiro Terasawa, they offered to travel back to 1944 to teleport away a dinosaur believed to have mutated into Godzilla. The plan was quickly enacted, with Fuchi and Emikano, the cyborg M11, and a few individuals from the present day.
Sounds like a ripoff of Alien.
Once they arrived, they witnessed the battle between Japanese and American forces. The Godzillasaurus appeared and then fought off the Americans, but was gravely wounded by shells and artillery. After the Japanese
don't hurt the dino.
the spaceship Kids was used to teleport the Godzillasaurus to the Bering Sea, where they believed it would die, far away from nuclear testing. In the dinosaur's place, Emi secretly left behind 3 genetically engineered creatures called Dorats. When Kids returned to the present, the Fushion's leader reported Godzilla had vanished from the Sea of Japan. However, in place of Godzilla, the three-headed dragon.
Oh wow, who would have thought you can't trust time travelers?
Used the Castle Bravo test to create Ghidorah and erase Godzilla from history so that he couldn't stop their monster. Meanwhile,
this is kind of your fault, Japan.
Sense Godzilla moving, something that, along with everyone still remembering Godzilla, suggested that Godzilla hadn't really been erased from history. Thinking that Godzilla was their only defense against King Ghidorah,
not even time travel can stop Godzilla.
Submarine to the Bering Sea to transform the Godzillasaurus they believed was there into a new Godzilla. Instead, en route to the Bering Sea, the sub found Godzilla, curing his anib infection and causing him to grow to 100 meters in height. Godzilla came ashore in Hokkaido, prompting the Futrians to send King Ghidorah against him. The monsters dueled, and eventually Ghidorah gained the
arch enemies collide.
Terasawa, Emi, and a reprogrammed M11 mounted an assault on Mother, destroying the computer-controlling King Ghidorah, and allowing Godzilla to take the upper hand and sever King Ghidorah's middle head.
Decapitation!
And used Kids to teleport Mother in front of Godzilla, who proceeded to destroy it and the future.
I'm a fire in my laser.
The revitalized Godzilla rampaged across Japan. To stop him, Emi traveled to 2204, recovered King Ghidorah's corpse, and used the technology of her time to transform him into a cyborg, Mecha King Ghidorah.
There's always a mecha something.
Opponents, Godzilla was captured with the mecha's machine hand. However, while transporting the Monster King, Mecha King Ghidorah had his wings blasted out and fell into the sea as a result.
Jumped for scrap, sucker.
And returned to the future. Meanwhile, on the ocean floor, Godzilla regained consciousness.
Bow down to the king. Oh boy, here comes an ad.
Godzilla versus Mothra.
Please don't be very mutual.
Jake said so-and-so on vape tonight, and I'm gonna take that as a sign to quit vaping. And Jake, you know, it's funny you said that.
I hate these unskippable ads.
Signs too. It's kind of
we get it.
Good job.
Alright, enough of that.
Versus Mothra. After a meteor crash in the Pacific Ocean, it awakened both Godzilla and the dark divine moth, Batra. Godzilla's surface where Mothra's egg was
Arise, Godzilla.
From infant island to Japan. The egg hatched into a larval Mothra, which fought Godzilla until Batra arrived and dragged Godzilla to the
Ugh,
seafloor.
Batra is
Mid-battle,
gross
a
looking.
volcanic fault opened beneath them, and both were pulled into the magma below. Presumed dead, the monster actually
Don't
simply stormed
presume
through the molten
Godzilla's
rock,
dead. He's
with
hard to
Godzilla
put
emerging from
down.
Mount Fuji and making his way toward Yokohama. There he found Mothra, now in Imago stage, fighting against an Imago stage Batra. Batra knocked Mothra aside and attacked Godzilla, who easily overpowered him. Mothra and Batra proceeded to join forces against Godzilla.
Because of course they
Mothra
did.
and Batra's onslaught proved too much for Godzilla, and he was subdued. While being carried out to sea by the moth monsters, Godzilla killed Batra, and they both fell into the ocean.
Kill Batra, Godzilla.
Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2.
Oh,
Godzilla
Mechagodzilla.
appeared at Andorra Island, where a group of scientists discovered a prehistoric egg guarded by the mutant pteranodon, Rodan. Godzilla attacked Rodan, giving the scientists enough time to escape with the egg.
I said I know I should be
Godzilla blasted
talking, but I'm
Rodan
really
with atomic
invested.
breath, seemingly killing him, and they followed the stolen egg back to Kyoto. The egg hatched into a baby Godzillasaurus, named Baby Godzilla by Azusa Goichi,
Okay, that thing is
who he had
adorable.
imprinted upon. As Godzilla approached the institute housing the hatchling, the United Nations formed military task force known as G-Force sent their weapon
Of course, they have
Mechagodzilla
that.
to intercept him. After Mechagodzilla
Personally, I prefer Mechagodzilla to be created by aliens.
it fired its shock anchor cables into Godzilla to electrocute him. Godzilla
Yo,
managed
get up,
to reverse the
Godzilla.
electrical current.
Seriously,
causing
I hate
Mechagodzilla
seeing
to
Godzilla
shoot
hurt.
and fall. Godzilla continued to Kyoto, but eventually left after he was unable to find the hatchling. Baby Godzilla was kept at G-Force's headquarters, where he was raised and studied. It was soon discovered that Baby possessed a second brain in his hips, which controlled his lower body. From this
I learned about this
a
from
plan
the
was
death battle of
devised to
Godzilla
use
vs.
Baby to lure
Gamera.
Big G, destroy his second brain, and then kill him with Mechagodzilla. Unable to stop the baby's use as bait, Asusa opted to accompany him on the trip to the Ogasawara Islands, where the operation would be taking place.
That thing's
En
adorable.
route, the revived Rodan, now Fire Rodan, intercepted the canister holding Asusa and Baby. Mechagodzilla and Garuda were sent in to save Baby and Asusa, and apparently killed Rodan.
Poor Rodan.
Shortly after, Godzilla appeared and engaged Mechagodzilla. which
Yeah,
combined with
chunk
Godzilla's
that
form
stupid
Super
robot to
Mechagodzilla
scrap.
Not long after the battle commenced. Super MG fired his shock anchor cables directly at his hips, and discharged electricity onto the Monster King's second brain was burst.
Come
Before the
on,
Mecha
get up,
could kill
Godzilla.
Godzilla, however, Baby escaped from his canister and called out to the mortally wounded Fire Rodan, who flew over but was shot down by Mechagodzilla's Mega Buster. Rodan fell onto Godzilla
Save
and
him.
vanished after giving up his life force, reconstituting Godzilla's second brain.
Yeah.
Revitalized, the Monster
Kick
King
his
rose and fired
metal
his nuclear
behind,
atomic heat ray at
big
Mechagodzilla
fella.
several times, destroying it. Godzilla approached Baby, who cowered in fear. Miki Saigusa used her telepathy to tell Baby to go with Godzilla. And both he and his new adoptive father headed out to the ocean. Godzilla versus Space Godzilla.
Hey, before we continue, I just want to say, this one's actually my favorite Godzilla film, Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. Yeah, in fact, I actually have the NECA action figure of Godzilla in the Space Godzilla vs. Godzilla film. Yeah, sorry. Let's continue.
Godzilla had taken partial residence on Birth Island, where his adoptive son, now 30 meters
Oh
tall,
my god, that
Little
thing's
Godzilla,
adorable.
spent all of his time.
Aww.
When extraterrestrial clone Space Godzilla arrived and began attacking Little Godzilla, the king of the monsters came ashore.
I think
and
Space
confronted
Godzilla
the
should be in the new
invader to
films.
defend his son. However, Space Godzilla proved too powerful and encased Little G in crystals before
No.
leaving. Enraged, Godzilla chased Space Godzilla back to Japan.
Think about it. You'd be angry too if they did that to your child.
The encounter with Mogira after a rogue pilot diverted the mech's path from Space Godzilla to Godzilla. After the pilot was subdued by the co-pilots, Mogira headed to Fukuoka to fight Space Godzilla. Godzilla eventually arrived and fought his clone, but was overpowered. Soon,
Of
the
course.
Monster King realized that Space Godzilla was drawing most of his energy from the surrounding crystal spires and the Fukuoka Tower, which the Space Beast had instilled with cosmic energy.
Of course he
Godzilla and
did.
Mogira, now split into Star Falcon and Land Mogira, joined forces to destroy the crystals and bring down the tower. When the tower was destroyed, Space Godzilla's power was drastically cut, allowing the Big G to put
Yeah.
on a better fight.
Beat him to a pulp,
Mogira
Godzilla.
blew up Space Godzilla's shoulder crystals, making him unable to control his energy.
Yeah.
The Space Monster retaliated by destroying Mogira.
Kick his
Godzilla proceeded to
tail.
destroy Space Godzilla with his nuclear fusion heat ray,
Nuclear-
freeing Little
oh.
Godzilla back on Earth Island. Godzilla
Aww.
swam out to sea, intent on returning to his son. Godzilla versus Destoroyah.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I remember this one. This is the Godzilla film that truly made me shed a tear. I could actually tell Godzilla was screaming in pain. It just feels sad seeing bad things happen to Godzilla. Alright, let's continue.
In 1996, a nuclear reactor in Godzilla's heart ignited uranium deposits on Birth Island, causing the island to explode. Nowhere to be seen, little Godzilla is presumed dead. Godzilla, now
Okay,
covered
seriously.
in glowing orange rashes and dubbed Burning Godzilla, resurfaced in Hong Kong and destroyed the city before disappearing. G-Force would soon realize that Godzilla's new look was a result of the Birth Island explosion, and that the nuclear fission in the Monster King's heart would cause him to explode, igniting the atmosphere and vaporizing the Earth. Without the oxygen destroyer, the only weapon that could kill Godzilla, and knowing that a direct attack on the Big G would cause him to explode, G-Force turned to the Super X3, armed with cadmium shells and freezer weapons. As Godzilla reached the Bungo Channel, the X3 successfully lowered his temperature, encasing him in ice. As Godzilla thawed, the fission in his heart appeared to be reducing. After, little Godzilla, now a sub-adult and dubbed Godzilla Jr., was found heading to his nest over on Adonoa Island. G-Force then learned that while Godzilla's fission had been brought under control, his reactor heart was overheating. This would lead to a nuclear meltdown, wherein Godzilla's heart burned down to the Earth's core and destroy the planet in less than a week. After it was learned that Godzilla was following his son, a plan was devised to lure Junior to Tokyo, where the oxygen destroyer kaiju Destoroyah was, and have the crustacean kill Godzilla.
How dare they?
Reluctantly used telepathy to change Junior's course to Tokyo. When Godzilla appeared in Tokyo Bay, a new plan was proposed to use freezer weapons to freeze Godzilla as he melted down to minimize damage, which would occur once Godzilla's core temperature reached 1200 degrees Celsius. As Godzilla and Junior reunited near Haneda Airport, Destoroyah appeared in his perfect form.
Destroyer. Or as I like to call him, the Cell of the Dragon Ball character Cell of the Godzilla universe.
Eventually ending with Godzilla firing into Destroyer's exposed, wounded chest. This forced Destroyer
put an end to Destroyer, Godzilla. Kick his red demonic tail.
As his temperature climbed, Godzilla approached his fallen son and revived him only long enough for him to stare up at his father.
That's so sad.
Grieved, Destroyer reformed in his perfect form and grabbed Godzilla by the neck, dragging him out to the outskirts of the city. He got back on his feet and approached Destroyer, ready for one final confrontation. Godzilla's temperature began to climb to critical levels, and his dorsal plates began melting. Giving off waves of immense heat which set their surrounding areas ablaze, Godzilla fired his infinite heat ray at Destoroyah, mortally wounding the crustacean. Before Destoroyah could fly away, G-Force opened fire with their freezer weapons, shredding the monster's wings, causing him to hit the ground and
destroying Destroyer.
Godzilla stood silently, ready to die in peace. G-Force opened fire on Godzilla with all their freezer weapons as he melted down. Finally, Godzilla's heart burst, and his outer body and skeleton melted away.
This really made me
G-Force
cry.
prevented the destruction of the planet, but could do nothing to contain the catastrophic amounts of radiation pouring out from Godzilla. Just when it appeared Tokyo would be rendered uninhabitable, all the radiation vanished. Godzilla Jr. was visible through the smoke, revived and transformed into a new Godzilla. And that's Godzilla's history.
He will be the Millennium Godzilla.
Please watch the actual kaiju profile now if you haven't already. See ya.
Okay, I'm just going to say it. That was a very, very nice video to watch. I love kaiju movies. In fact, I think the Heisei Godzilla films might actually be my favorites. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching this. I hoped you liked my reaction. Well, links in the description. Be sure to check out the original video. Goodbye.